reflexes like a mongoose on amphetamines. Waving his Wilson wand. Super scintillating and sensational from Sosa. It's tennis near the gods. No mortal may approach.
Welcome back to Tennis Near the Gods. I'm Alex, joined alongside my brother Nicholas, and today we're going to be recapping the two 500s that just concluded in London and in Halle and previewing the two 250s in Eastbourne and Antalya. So to start off, in London, Feliciano Lopez took the title. He won in 2017. He played all his matches in 3 sets, starting off with a win over Fucsovics, 6-4 in the third, and then he got a default from Juan Martín del Potro, who unfortunately will be out for a while now because of the same right knee that he injured in Shanghai against Borna Coric. And then Feli ended up beating Raonic 6 in the third, and he beat Elizme, and then he beat Simon again in 3. So it was quite a tournament for him. He also won the doubles with Andy Murray, which was huge. And really what highlighted the tournament for him was how much he surged towards the net. I mean, the guy, great doubles player. He won Roland Garros doubles title with Mark Lopez. Yeah. He's got a big serve. He is limited on the backhand side with that slice, but on the grass, it is less. He's less vulnerable there because the slice will slide more through the court.
I don't think it's a weakness though, especially on grass. I think it's so offensive and it's so aggressive because it stays so low. He knifes it so well, and when you see that slice coming, he transitions toward the net so well and so often that he creates just this great presence and puts a lot of pressure on his opponent
off that slice. I mean, there's a lot of question marks playing against him because he did come to net so often. There's a lot of second guessing of, is he going to come in off of this ball? Is he going to come in? And it puts a lot of pressure. So there is a little bit of overplaying on the other side. You saw that with Aliassime, just overplayed a couple shots here and there. And that can be the difference in the match. And same with Simon. Like, he put a lot of pressure on him. Simon, on the grass, on the other hand, was the complete opposite of Lopez. This guy, I don't know how he does it, but he grinds. He
slides the ball through the court,
he plays
kind of like Medvedev.
Exact same game he plays on hard and clay. The guy can just, I mean, he was playing his match against Medvedev, which was a war on grass too, which was shocking. The guy had they had a 49-ball rally on grass, just grooving backhands. So it was a great match of contrasting styles, the final. Just because you have this guy who's playing very aggressive in terms of court positioning against a guy who's willing to hang back and kind of just groove neutral balls all day long and is not that offensive in his game. He absorbs a lot of power and just deflects and changes direction, especially with that backhand.
And for a while at the tail end of the tiebreaker in the second set and the beginning of the third, Simon looked to have a great rhythm of just being able to pass Feli, and Feli kind of looked a bit. He was struggling out there trying to find success where he had been throughout the entire tournament with coming to net, and Simon was passing him very well off the backhand side and keeping the ball low.
I mean, the guy has a class backhand. That's when you think of Simon, you think of his backhand. Mm-hmm. The way he can change direction off of that is just phenomenal. And to be honest, his matches before that, as I mentioned, the Medvedev match was a war. Those two guys play so similar in terms of off the backhand wing. The forehand wing's a little different. Medvedev plays a little more aggressive. Simon hang back, again, absorbs pace. And Medvedev does have the bigger serve. So that was a very interesting match because it was almost like as if it was on a hard court in terms of the style of play. Another big storyline was Nico Mahut. He took out Stan Wawrinka. Nico Mahut on the grass is always going to be dangerous. You saw it in Roland Garros. I mean, he went old school, even on the clay. Mixed it up. He has a lot of variety in his game. He's a phenomenal volleyer. Again, the doubles comes into play there because of his doubles prowess.
But I don't think it's too much of a surprise seeing Stan Wawrinka being knocked out early rounds.
I mean, it was a little bit of a surprise, only because Wawrinka's firepower, I think, especially when you hit that to the back, that slices can break down. I mean, even the professional slices, like, he can hit through. And especially on grass, you're going to get a lot more value, especially in changing directions. And Wawrinka can unload that thing line. And he plays a lot. He plays very linearly. He goes line a lot. That's his game. And he served for the match, so it's a toss-up. And a lot of these matches on grass are toss-ups. Medvedev's match against Pui. But another takeaway from this tournament, I said that prior to the grass season that I thought that all of the big men, and included Cilic in this, and I'll get to that in a second, would get big confidence boosts from the grass because they get more value with their stuff.
Yep.
and playing aggressive, because the big men have been struggling this year. And Cilic looked so good to start off against Christian Garin. He went 6-1, 3-0.
Yeah,
and then
6-1,
all of a
3-1.
sudden, the dude just turned off. And Garin gifted him that match because Garin played terribly. I don't even know how Cilic won. But Cilic all of a sudden was not getting the ball past the service line and just became so tight. And then you saw the match against Schwartzman. The guy is playing how tall is Schwartzman? 5'7"?
Yeah.
And he's 8 feet behind the baseline, returning Schwartzman's second serve on grass. And returning the ball in the middle of the court, like not even halfway to the baseline from the service line.
But I still feel that you have to give Schwartzman credit for how he played. I mean, he was able to pass Cilic exceptionally well.
I don't know, past Cilic. He was moving Cilic around. He was playing very aggressive. But that's my point. Like, Cilic is struggling in terms of his game. He's struggling with the offense, and then he's going too soft. And he is the one guy this week that, of the big men, that just didn't show up. Because I thought Raonic did well. Losing to Feliciano Lopez, that's going to be tight.
That's also a toss-up, as you said.
It's a toss-up because of the serve. Lopez is tough to break. It's like playing another big server.
And also, best out 2 out of 3. It's compared to 3 out of 5. It's
to
a
Wimbledon,
whole
it's going to be a little bit
ballgame.
different, and the same thing for Cilic at Wimbledon. But Cilic did lose to Quito Pele last year at Wimbledon. I remember that. Second
And that
round
was
or
after
something
he
like
had
that.
won
The
this
first
tournament.
2 sets. He won the first 2 sets. So that was a little shocking when I saw that. But everything else for the tournament seemed to go similar to what I thought. I mean, Alias seems legit. You said this at the beginning of the year. And you said that he would have a big grass season. I'd say the loss to Lopez, it's too bad. But, I mean, Dimitrov 4-4, and then Nick Kyrgios 7-5. That's a big win. I don't care how much, people think Kyrgios is a tank. He said before the match, Alias probably going to win. But whatever. Kyrgios is a juggernaut on grass just because of the serve. You're not going to break the guy.
The serve, and also the backhand slides through the court, and his forehand is so versatile.
It's literally just the serve. How are you going to break that thing? I mean, when he doesn't even need to be focused. And on the grass, his serve is too much. And so that was great to see. And then the match against Tsitsipas was a little disappointing. But as I said, I think Tsitsipas on the grass is struggling because I think what makes him so good on the clay is he hangs back, he has the time, he likes the ball up high.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
He does have a big swing on the forehand side. Aliassime is in tight. It's a tight swing that has a lot of whip. Tsitsipas is more of a elongated stroke and a lot more. It's not as violent. It's very smooth. And against the grass, it has to be on the grass. And it has to be shortened, and the ball is lower. And I think when the ball is lower for him, he struggles.
I don't think I agree with you there in terms of how he likes a bit more time, but I still think that he can find a lot of success on grass. You've seen, I think, where he's struggling now.
He does search forward well, as you said.
Yes.
He does come to that.
He transitions very well, but I think his struggles right now, which predate back to Roland Garros, is that he's not serving well. He's not getting as much value as he was at the beginning of the year when he beat Roger Federer, when he made the semifinals of the Aussie Open, when he made the finals of Madrid. He's not getting as much value. His toss, I think, in an infograph at the French Open, they said that his toss varied by a foot and a half, which is completely unheard of for professional tennis. And it's a lot.
I would say I agree with you. The serve of him, for a player of his caliber, for where he's ranked, what is he in the world?
He's six.
Six. I mean, his serve. When you look at who he's up against, with the I mean, Nadal's serve is great too. I mean, it's a setup, but Tsitsipas, who's what 6'4", 6'3",
Yeah, he's
like
tall
that.
And
he's
big.
a tall guy. His serve is not as useful as you would think it is, and he has so much room for improvement there.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, I'm not a huge fan of him on the grass, because you don't see that massive serve that is just dominating, that it's hard to get him off of that first ball that he's going to come in off of or just put away.
And that's what you're seeing from actually Felix Auger.
He's got a cannon on his arm.
I mean, I remember in Lyon, on clay, we're talking about clay, not even like grass, he served 30 aces in a single match. That's more than Milos Raonic is serving on grass courts.
Yeah, so Aliassime has the big serve, he has the big forehand, but he also is a little more conditioned, I think, than Tsitsipas to come for. He's looking for that first ball just to hammer.
Yeah.
Off of any side. I think Tsitsipas, if you find that backhand, he's a little less willing to take that ball and really come in off of it. It's more of the forehand where you see him just surge through the court. The backhand side.
And he doesn't have the slice obviously, comparing him to Federer, the slice of a Federer, his slice isn't at the level.
He doesn't have that
ranking.
creativity yet, I don't think. But, I mean, Federer is special in that regard. He has so many ways to beat you. And that actually will lead us into Halle, in which Federer won. It's his 10th time winning the title. And this was a great warm-up for him for Wimbledon, because he had his match against Tsonga was so tough. I mean, I don't know how he found a way to win that, because Tsonga played out of his mind. The serving was unbelievable. I mean, Federer did not have looks in any of those service games. Tsonga served for the match, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he served for the match, and then Federer hit some let cord to break him. But that match really just said, okay, I'm loving Federer on the grass. Just the way he found his way through the tournament. He's just in uncomfortable positions in the Tsonga match, in the Bautista Agut match. He has to save break points in the third set on serve.
Yeah.
And then he ends up winning. I mean, the guy just finds ways to win when he does not have his best tennis, or when the guy is out or just playing his best tennis and he is not at his highest level.
So much pressure for the other opponent to go out there and win.
He's just got so many ways to beat you. His serve is... he can pick his spots and hit them at 125. Fashion.
And Goffin, who's looked at his best, he has since, I think, being injured.
Yeah, so, I mean, the premise, I mean, everyone knows Fed's game, but, I mean, his serve, he can hit his spots at 125 consistently no matter what, which is good as any server's going to be. If you add an extra 10, 20 miles per... or not 20 miles per hour, but 10 miles and on there, it's the same value you get. And then couple that with, I mean, he comes to net and covers the net so well. And off of both sides, the variety he'll play with, he'll toy with you.
And he controls the court exceptionally well.
And he sets up his patterns on grass, so then you become clueless. Like, you're seeing, again, in the Goffin match, Goffin is just guessing at a certain point where the forehand's going off of that first ball, because Federer's getting the value, and he's sitting there, and his forehand's just too big for you to wait and see where he's going. And he'll set up the inside out and then whip it inside in, and then all of a sudden it's free reign, because now you realize, okay, he can go either way. He's going either way, and now I'm in trouble. A big takeaway is I think Tsonga's going to be very tough on the grass. I love the way he played. He served phenomenally, hit the forehand massively, and surged for it and took it to Fed, which is hard to do. So that was cool. And then Pierre Herbert advancing. He's going to be tough on the grass just because, again, the volleying, the serving. I think he has a great serve.
I'm not 100% convinced about Pierre Herbert. He did get a retirement from Borna Coric, and he was it looked like he was down and out against Sergei
Borna Coric hates the grass, and you can just see, even though he won this tournament last year, he said, I had no clue that I was going to win.
Or yeah, he thought he was going to lose first round.
First round, I hate the grass. He played a war with Joao Sousa, 7-6 in the third. And I just, his game on grass, he doesn't transition that well. He likes to hang back.
Yeah.
His backhand line is phenomenal, so that is a plus. But I think, again, his forehand, I don't like it on the grass. It is a big swing. He keeps it up high. The ball is going to be mostly down low. His strength is just his physicality and his movement and his relentlessness. And on grass, that's a little less valuable than other surfaces. And so you move down to the bottom half of the draw where it was filled with the big guys. As I said, Karen Khachanov, Jan-Lennard Struff, Matteo Berrettini. You see Berrettini win 3 matches after winning the Stuttgart title. He beat Basilashvili, then Seppi, and then Karen Khachanov, which was a big win. I was happy seeing Khachanov's game. I think, as I said this earlier,
very big win against Jan-Lennard Struff.
It was a great match.
Doing well.
The ball striking in that match was unbelievable. I mean, the minute a ball sat up, it was gone. So I think that's positive for both. Struff looked great. He's going to be very tough in Wimbledon. He's got that massive serve, and off of both sides, the ball is hanging. It's gone.
Yeah.
And Karen Khachanov did a great job of just weathering the storm and getting that one or two error, getting that one mistake and pouncing on it, because that was a dangerous match. That could have gone either way. He found a great way through it, and then I think this is where Struff and Khachanov, in terms of on the grass, are a little are not as good as Berrettini. Berrettini has a little more variety.
And he's able to come to net easier.
Not come to net easier. I'd say the slice. Khachanov and Struff don't have a slice like Berrettini does. Berrettini uses it more often, and he uses it to get around to the forehand to really to strike the ball. And on the grass, it's a little unsettling because you don't know whether that backhand's going to slide through the court, he's going to rip it, or it's going to be a chip, where it's going. And that's where you see the
and you have to come
the advantage for him over those guys right now, because he's playing very confident tennis, playing very aggressively, and then to couple that with having that ability to kind of muddy the match, make it uncomfortable, make it unorthodox, really helps him. And then you see against Goffin, I think somewhat you're playing so many matches in a row. A guy's playing very high level tennis.
And Goffin is one of the best.
And it was 1 or 2 points in the first set, and the set goes Goffin's way, and he runs with it. Goffin's timing, I mean, his strokes are so compact, and he plays so close to the baseline and takes the ball so early. He's gonna be good on grass. He struggled this year. It was great to see him have a good run at this tournament. He beat Zverev, which was a little surprise to me, just because Zverev's serve, I think, would have pulled him through, and his backhand. Zverev was up a break in the third.
But to talk about
Zverev was
that
up a
match,
break
that first set, he looked so good. He looked like the Zverev of old, where he was
not
commanding...
old, just when he won Nito indoors, but that's indoors.
But no, well, just when he was having a lot more success, and he was commanding the baseline, he was being very aggressive, and then he had... I think it was 3 opportunities to go up a double break in that first set, and he missed a forehand because he backed up on it. The commentators rightly pointed that out, and from then on, it looked like...
I mean, that goes back to what I said. It's the confidence thing. He's lacking confidence. He's playing... When he lacks confidence, he drops back. His go-to thing is to drop back and turn into this grind, and it's like, my guy, you are 6'6". You grinding is not as much as a threat as you holding down the baseline and slamming balls down the guy's throat.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily your game, but you'd be better off playing more aggressive than too tentative.
Mm-hmm.
And he just turns into this shell of himself where he goes back, the forehand starts landing short. That's the first sign, because the backhand is always going to be there. That backhand is money, no matter what. The forehand just becomes, for his level, terrible. It just becomes a glaring weakness. And guys by now know his game. Like, that's the thing. Okay, it's like his sophomore year. Guys have time to adjust. They have time to game plan. They know your game inside and out by now. And it is known. You attack and you break down that forehand, and the rest of his game can unravel. The backhand, I think, is always going to be of a certain caliber. That backhand is unbelievable. One of the best backhands on tour. But then his serve, he gets a little tight. Like, his serve gets tight, and it breaks down. He misses a lot of first serves. The second serve becomes a powder puff ball. It turns into like a very short kick that people, if they're up to it and they have the confidence, are going to go after and take it to him and put him on the defensive right away. So that's what you saw here again. And that's the troubling thing, because he needs the confidence, and I think the grass can help him in that sense, like force him to play more aggressive. But
I was really excited about him because it looked like he had his confidence back, winning his first 2 matches in straight sets, not having to go into a third set. And now he's lost it. He's going back to Monte Carlo to train and try and just reset. And to be honest, I think it's a bad decision coming into Wimbledon.
I don't think so. I think reset, do whatever you have to do. So that's that from Halle. We're going to move on, quickly preview what's to come in Antalya and Eastbourne. To start off in Antalya, you have your 1 seed Benoit Paire headlining the draw. These 2 tournaments are very weak for 250s.
And understand
you could see in the qualifying draw, I mean, the seeds in the qualifying draw were like 200 to 240. So in this draw, the defending champion is, what's his name? Damir Zhumer, right? He won it last year.
Yep.
Zhumer won it last year. He's coming back from a shoulder contusion in his left shoulder, something like that, and broken ribs too. It's kind of early to come back from that. I thought from Roland Garros, where he injured it in doubles. But you see Adrian Manarino in the draw, so you have to think he's definitely up for the title. So when I look at this draw, I say I don't like Paire on the grass per se. I think the forehand, because the grass plays a little bit faster, I think that the forehand will break down.
Yeah.
Just because it's so unorthodox, and the technique there leaves a lot of room for error, or like there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that forehand on the grass. So I'm not a big fan of him on the grass here. I'd say
he already lost to Tsonga last week.
I mean, 4 and 5. Tsonga was playing great tennis, so you can't take much from that. But I'd say the favorite for me for the tournament is Manarino.
Yeah.
Just because what he did in Hertogenbosch, and he's just so crafty. And I think
also another favorite, or not necessarily another contender, is Jordan Thompson, who finaled Hertogenbosch as well.
Yeah,
lost to Manarino
for sure.
in the finals.
For sure, I agree.
He's a great player.
And he's also the 3 seed, so he's got a good draw. And I'd say maybe Hugo Humbert, another Frenchman.
Yeah, I was thinking him.
He's the 6th seed. He's very unorthodox. He's very creative. Not a conventional player. He's a tall guy. He's got that sweeping lefty serve. Same with Manarino, and he's just cagey. Not someone who's going to give you that consistent rhythm. So on the grass,
and he gave
on the grass you get value there.
Trouble. A great 3-set battle. I think it was 7-6 in the third.
Yeah. So that's that from Antalya, and in Eastbourne, you have the draw headlined by Guido Pella as your 1 seed, Laszlo Jarry as your 2, and Kyle Edmund as your 3. Again, another weak draw, just because it's leading, just because it's Wimbledon qualies this week, which is practice time.
And you also see Feliciano Lopez coming in with a special exemption. But wouldn't be too surprised if he were to withdraw, just because of how much tennis he played this past week.
I think he plays, but I think he'll lose to Pierre Huzerberg, who has a couple more days to rest. He's not going to be being thrown right into the match. It's kind of tough with the amount of tennis he's played in the last week. This draw definitely is a lot stronger than Antalya. You have Marco Cecchinato in the draw, who's obviously dropped a lot since Roland Garros.
And you have Simon in the draw as your 6th seed.
This draw,
Dan
to
Evans.
be honest, I have no clue who's going to win this. You have Riley Opelka, who if he serves well, could win.
Yeah.
I'd say
that's all he really needs.
Exactly, and
he hasn't played.
We haven't seen.
Grass
I don't think
yet.
Hubert has Hurkacz plays in Stuttgart maybe, but Hurkacz could be another person who's tough on the grass. He's 6'4" build, has a big serve, and he he can change line. His backhand's great. I think that's on the grass. If you have that backhand that you can deflect pace and change line, well, you're definitely going to be a contender in these tournaments. Because I think Kekanado, the grass is going to rush him too much.
Definitely.
The forehand's a big swing. He's got a big swing on the backhand. Lacking a little confidence right now. I would not take him. Shout out to college tennis because Paul Jubb qualified. He's a Division One.
A couple of big wins for him.
Big wins in the quali draw. He's been
Dennis
playing.
Histaman and then took out.
He's been
Andre
winning
Rublev.
matches in the challengers. Challengers on grass. Again, challengers on grass won't be or tennis on grass is not going to be a big judge for how he's going to transition into the tour on hard and on clay. But the guy's got game. So this tournament's a lot more intriguing for me. Still, when I look at the draw, at the top you have Simone in it too.
I could see a Cam Norrie making a run.
I like
Laszlo
Laszlo. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I liked his match against Struff. I think Struff just outclassed him.
Yeah.
In one game on his serve.
Yep.
And then same in the second set. It was a 4-4, but it was high level tennis. And I like Jerry on the grass. I do. So I'd say Jerry, and I'm gonna take Hurkacz in the final.
Wow.
Not to make the final, and I think Jerry wins. Just because I think the top half of the draw is a lot tougher than the bottom half. And I think the top half they're gonna give each other trouble. I think Jerry's gonna cruise more. I can't really decide between Opelka and Hurkacz. That's just gonna be a toss up. I think Opelka beats Stevie J. Because we haven't seen Opelka on grass this year. But when he played the New York Open, if he plays like that, he's going to be tough to beat because the serve is just so overwhelming. And the guy is not incompetent on returns. Like, he can return a little bit, and he can hit from the baseline, too. He does not, like... He will itch to hit that big ball, but he has a little more patience, I think, than what John Isner had. In terms of what's his shot tolerance from behind the baseline before he feels the need to pull a trigger.
And I'm going to take Simon taking the title over. I'm going to go with Cam Norrie. It could be like Sharmi Chardy could easily take him out. Not sure.
There's
I
a
think
lot
this
of
top
tough
half
matches
is,
on the grass.
A lot more condensed and a lot more competitive.
Norrie did look good on the grass though. Against his match against Kevin Anderson, who made his comeback, his first match back in a while in London.
Losses in the second round.
To Simone. So that's all we got for you guys this week. We'll come back at you guys probably in the middle of the week, towards the end of the week, to preview Wimbledon when the draw comes out, main draw men's singles. Thank you so much for listening.
And thank you so much, Coach Todd, for listening.